Hey guys, welcome to the weekly challenge live stream for Yousician. I'm Alexis, and I go by the name Alexis Yousician in the guitar learning app, Yousician. Each week, Yousician releases challenges of 2 songs in varying difficulty levels. Users compete for high scores on the leaderboards. Each Sunday, I play through all the songs on guitar and break each one down for you, so you can reach your goals faster and post higher scores. Hey guys, how's it going? Strange name, In the Court. In the Court of the Weekly Challenge. I'm not exactly sure what they mean by the in the court part, but, you know, you can tell by the name, Prog Man's Lament, Prog. So I hear a little bit of, you know, a number of different bands in this one, a little bit of, you could hear probably some King Crimson, a little bit of Porcupine Tree in this, the Prog Man's Lament. So, and there's some things about this one that you need to be careful with, in the sense of the way that you play it is kind of like not the way I would play it in real life. So if you're getting any reds on this one, that's probably why, is that you're probably playing it, this sounds a little strange, but too accurate or too close to the way it's meant to be, you would play it in real life. So it's a little bit weird, but that's just, you know, one of the quirks of the app. So just gonna be careful about that. And it's all on the chords. So I haven't really even decided which way I play this. Sometimes I'll do all the picks. Sometimes I'll do it pick and hybrid picking. But a lot of it is separating the notes with your left hand. So anyway, Rachel in the chat asked about if I could play modern vintage melody and solo. I could probably get to that later on in the stream. Haven't played that in a while, but I took a look at it before, like earlier today, so I might be able to do that. So welcome everybody that's in the chat right now. We got the usual suspects, Debjeet, Ash Gamer, etc, etc, etc. So thanks for coming out, guys. And anyway, here we go. I'll do, where's my cursor? There we go. All right, Prog Man's Lament.
almost perfect. Next time, you'll nail it.
Okay, so not a great score, but let me get rid of
Congratulations, you've reached...
Get back in there. So, anyway, let me take a look here. I'm trying to figure out, if you guys are getting me. So, the reason being is that Ash Gamer said, "Where am I?" I'm not entirely. Let's see here. Am I here? So, let me type in the chat and see if you guys are getting me here. If not, I might have to reset something. So, anyway, hopefully I'm not just talking to myself, which would be kind of annoying. Anyway, let's see here. So one silly mistake there. I'm going to take this into practice mode and show you where I'm not going to I'm not going to promise that it's going to actually be a problem, but let's see if this works. Okay, so no problems there. Okay, and so apparently you guys can see me. So anyway, basically seventh chords, which are, I love seventh chords. I love the sound of seventh chords, but it really forces you to be really good with barring. Probably one of the most awkward and difficult parts of your finger to bar. So, which is the middle part here. That's when people get dead notes, like especially on a minor chord. It's usually that note on the third string, which is in this weird sort of spot of your finger, and that's it's pretty. This song has got a lot of minor seventh and minor seventh chords, sort of force you to really be good at that. So obviously you want to have these chords memorized before you even do this. So I would just sort of try to go through this. And just run the chords before you even try to play it. So not that difficult of a picking pattern. It's a fairly slow song. If you do have difficulty with it, you might want to hybrid pick it. So that's what I was doing. I was going, and I was also sort of rolling my fingers and separating it, but for some reason the last time I was playing it, I was getting, recognition problems, but today seems to do fine. So I don't think you have to do that. I was going to recommend that, but I think you should be okay. But other than that, this is really about a couple of things. One, memorizing the chords and like the shapes of the chords and the chord progression, and also having a good right hand. So you're either going to hybrid pick this or you're going to cross pick it. If you're going to cross pick it, there's no time to look at the screen, look at your hand, and then look back. So you really need to be able to find those strings. Be able to find that by your sense of touch. If you have trouble finding the strings with your right hand, you're going to want to do some string skipping exercises. If you look up, I have a string skipping exercise in the app. It's a pretty easy one. It's a low level one, and it's I can't remember the name of it, to be honest. Let me see if I can find it. It's not terribly difficult, so don't think that I know I put a lot of level 12 and such songs into the app, but this one is not like ridiculously difficult. I intentionally sort of made it fairly accessible in the sense of it's not like super high level. So, whoops. What's going on here? Let me find that one here. What's it's called? String changing study, 60 beats per minute. So level 6, it might be a level 8. So it's hard to say. I mean, it starts off really easy. I've heard some people say that it's not that hard, and then other people say that it's a tricky one. So, let's see here. Yeah, a few more people have played it, but not a lot. So I mean, that's something, and it doesn't have to be my exercise, obviously, but really work on your string changing with your right hand, because that's basically probably the biggest difficulty with this one, is finding the strings in time and being accurate. So if you're really good at chording, let's say you've done lots of songs where you're strumming and stuff. This is really all going to be about your right hand and how accurate you are. This middle section, pretty easy, just strumming. And once we get to this part here, this is tricky because it's a polyrhythm that's sort of superimposed over top of another time. So this is, if you just look at the time signature, I'll put the metronome on just so you can hear that. 2, 3, 4, 1, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's happening here is that they're grouping 3/8 notes, so superimposing a grouping of 3 over top of that 4/4 thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, but they're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's what this rhythm is. So it doesn't mathematically work out. It takes a while for it to loop around to sort of make sense. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you're playing on the 1 to start it. You're going 1, 2, and then you're playing that note on the 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's pretty tricky to stay in time with. And then they throw you for a loop at the end, where it's still 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but the 1, it goes 1, 2, 3. So you're changing on 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You might want to spend some time doing that on your own. So 1, 2, 3. It doesn't really matter what the notes are, but just getting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Maybe even with a metronome, just to get the hang of that, because it messes with your head a little bit. The fact that you're playing this grouping of 3 over top of 4/4 feels a little bit unsettling. On top of the sort of tritone, which is what this interval is called, or a flat 5 interval. That in itself is sort of an unsettling sound, and then you add that weird rhythm on top of it. Okay, then they change rhythms again, and they go over here, and these are in triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's almost like 12/8. Basically, that's the way I think of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So completely new feel. So that's going to be a bit tricky here. This section here, fortunately, there's no real, which makes it a little bit easier, is that there's no alternate endings. It's just the same thing. It's just a loop. So once you have this down, it's not that hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 measures, loop. So that's pretty easy. This part's pretty easy too. And then you have basically a reprise of the beginning. And that's it. And then they end with one of my favorite chords ever. Just a nice sounding chord. So there you go. Ash asked if I can play Waltzing Matilda basic finger picking version. Possibly. We'll see about time. Because I was already going to do the Waltzing Matilda in the double stop version. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm switching over to bass here. I'm going to do the sitting on a park bench. For bass, I'm going to mute so we don't get any noise. Hold on one sec. Okay, I didn't spend too much time on this one here. I'll just do a playthrough and then we'll talk about it in practice mode.
Well done.
That middle section. Yep, it's a bit of a pain. Whoops. So I think I might do one more run. I'm going to break it down first, then I'll do one more run. I think I can do a better job of it that. So the very beginning, it's super, super easy. It's kind of deceiving in the sense that this whole beginning part is just, there's not really much to talk about, Songs in 12/8, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 why am I counting? 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Yeah, so if you look up here, 1 2 1, and although this has it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and the way it's grouped, which is a little weird. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. I do know what I'm talking about, but it sounds like I don't, and which is kind of funny. Anyway, so this song here is tough in the sense of almost every version of this song. The guitar version of it, the highest version of it, is tough to do in the acoustic, I guess it's acoustic and electric, but in the rhythm side, this is a pretty tricky song. In fact, a lot of people have complained. Well, I don't know about complained, but have said that they've had difficulty with this one. So it's pretty tough. So this one here, there's a lot of there's a lot of dotted eighths, which the 16th to 8th notes, which it's a weird feeling because it feels like it's okay, and then you have these one or two notes that are like super fast to get in there, so it feels awkward. So this is, if you've never done 12/8, it's gonna be tricky. That part there. So it almost feels like it just sneaks up on you out of nowhere. So pretty tricky stuff, but fortunately, mostly a loop, except for this part. So having to jump back down there and then come back to the 7th fret, kind of tricky. So you have to do a quick little look at your fretboard and then get your eyes back on the music as fast as you possibly can. And then there will be another alternate ending here to lead you into the next section. So this is another one of those, it could be difficult. That whole, it's pretty fast, 8th note, 16th note, 8th note thing. Pretty tricky to do, and in 12/8 time. So that's, that's pretty tough to do here. Getting this slide in is a little tricky. You could use your 3rd finger. You have to sort of make up your mind which fingers you want to use. I'm using 1st and 3rd on these two, and then 2 and 4. You could do and just shift up. That would work totally fine. So don't think you have to do it the same fingering that I'm doing it. So loop, 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 loop. Back into that other riff. This, I had to really sort of program myself to make sure that I got that 4 in there, because I have a tendency to go straight to the 3, 4, repeat a theme, and then we're back to the beginning. So I want to try another run of that, and then we'll switch over back to guitar again. So let me do one more run, and then we'll see how it goes.
Well done. You can continue to the next exercise.
Okay, so better run. I'll have to work on that. A lot of silly mistakes in there, and my timing wasn't great. So, anyway, no big deal. All right, so, hey Chris, how's it going? Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to be doing ukulele in streams, especially when I have a ukulele right now, but it's not mine. I'm currently doing a job where I need I need to use it for this job, and I only have it for like 5 weeks, so I don't know if where's my history? I don't know if that's something that I will be doing. If there was high enough demand for it, I would consider it, though. So that's up to you guys to determine whether or not I'm going to do that. So let me switch. I'm going to mute for a second. All right. So I'm going to do Waltzing Matilda double stop melody. Oh no. Yeah. Is that what I'm doing? What am I doing? Yeah, double stop. Double stops, that's what I'm doing. Getting confused here with what I'm doing here. This one here, in the missions, it suggests doing this as as hybrid picking. So like a pick and one or two other fingers, either your middle finger or your middle and your ring. Would I do that way normally? It's tough to say. I for this one, to be honest, I kind of feel more comfortable not doing it with hybrid picking. But I will, for the sake of that's what the mission sort of talks about. If you look at the title screen when you're playing Waltzing Matilda, it sort of says that it talks about hybrid picking, and so I'm just going to do it that way. But you definitely could play this just with your pick. You just have to be really, really accurate. So I'll do a run of it, and then I'll do a breakdown of it. So.
Well done. You can continue
Okay,
to the next
so,
exercise.
Whoops. Okay. Not the greatest run. I'll break that down. Okay, so basically, just right out of the gate here, a lot of people have the questions of what are they supposed to even do here? It's like, I'm hybrid picking, but I have like 2 notes, and then I have single notes. Do I play my middle finger on that top note? Or do I use my pick? So this is just a choice that you have to make. There's no absolute with this that you must play it this way, but I play it with my pick. I do hybrid picking, and then this is a slow enough song that you can do it either way. You could do it with your middle finger. On some songs, it's just too fast that you're gonna have to switch to picks. Yeah, it's a choice you have to make for yourself. Which way is more comfortable for you? So even that part there, I like doing. I like doing in this part here. You sort of, again, these are a lot of decisions that you sort of have to make of how do I play this. So in this part here, I'm doing pick, finger, pick, pick. So is that the most ideal way? I don't know. It's comfortable for me. But I tend to do these two, this finger only. So middle finger, so pick, and then middle finger as much as possible. But then right here, you could do pick, middle finger, ring finger. I'm doing a weird thing that I'm doing pick, middle finger, pick, and then pick and middle finger at the same time. So again, there's no real set in stone way to do this. You have to figure out what works for you. And like I said, I can play this whole thing with a pick, and I'm pretty sure that is how I played it when I initially worked on this one. So I'm sort of doing it hybrid picking just for the sake of doing something different. But you could pick every single this entire thing, but again, that's really about accuracy and not making your hand, trying to make sure your hand's controlled, and also not over swinging. A lot of people will get reds in this because they're just not. If you're playing this 3/4, they'll be swinging their hands so much that they hit an extra string, or either the first string or the fourth string. So you have to really have it controlled. So I'm not doing a big swing. The other thing is that you can do is I'm actually like muting the fourth string. So if I accidentally hit it, it won't matter. I'm also wrapping my middle finger around, or any finger really, around the first string. So if I overshoot, that's going to get muted as well. That takes a little bit of extra practice to get the hang of. That just sort of developed over time. But is it necessary? No. Some way, somehow, you just have to be accurate and only hit what you're meant to be hitting. So that's the bottom line. So there's a lot of options here, and a lot of people will have different styles, different ways of doing this that is comfortable for them. There's certain parts of this one that I trip up on because I just forget it. I just forget to play it. There's like, for example, earlier on in here, there's an extra note. Well, I think it's in here that I just, for whatever reason, I don't want to play that note, so I have to like remind myself. And then this part here, I think, is the other part that people struggle with, partly with right hand and also with left hand. So we have. So the way I'm playing it is I'm going pick and middle finger, and then I'm doing A, or ring finger, middle, and then pick and ring finger for this part. I'm hammering with my fourth finger. You could hammer with your third finger. So that doesn't really matter which finger you use, just as long as, just decide ahead of time. And then, where is it here? Later on, this one sort of sneaks up on me because, again, I just sort of forget about it. Pretty quick change. And you have to be pretty good and clean with your hammer on the pull-offs. And then finally, this guy. I would isolate that. trying to make sure you get nice and, clean, no extra extraneous notes. This sort of 4-2-0 kind of thing happens in a lot of songs. It happens in Over the Hills and Far Away. So that kind of idea, it happens in Wish You Were Here. So a lot of songs have this lick in it. So being good at it in this song will sort of prepare you ahead of time for other songs that have it. So there you go. That's that one there. I could probably do better on, but I'm not going to bother with that. I really don't. Not what 27th. I can live with it. I'm not going to worry about that too much. Okay, someone asked earlier, Rachel something in the chat asked for this one here, modern vintage melody and solo. So I'll give that one a run. And I'll break that down in a sec. Okay, so I did that run.
Well done.
I did that run kind of playing it the way I would play it in real life. There were mistakes in there, sure, but there were some red notes that were purely due to the way that I was attacking the strings. So what I mean by that is that... So this is sort of, a bluesy, aggressive sounding song, so... it doesn't really sound as good to just go. So it kind of sounds ho-hum. It doesn't fit the feel of the song. So the song is kind of driving and aggressive, so you want to play it driving and aggressive in real life. In the app, I was getting reds on simple notes. So I was... That digging in sometimes gets like a harmonic. And if it sounds cool, I don't care if there's a harmonic there. So it also creates, a lot of buzz if you hit it hard enough. So I like that sound. I like that aggressive sort of sound. So there's no buzz there, but if I hit hard enough, I'll make it buzz. So some of them, not all, I was making mistakes, but some of the mistakes were not me. It was just purely the nature of it, hearing a harmonic and determining that that's not the right note, so to speak, and therefore I got a red. This part here is just a riff. Just want to loop it. You want to have your hammer-ons and pull-offs pretty comfortable. Loop, 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 over and over and over again. New theme, which is fairly easy. It's just getting these licks in. So I would take that, isolate it, loop it. Unfortunately, you can't loop a single lick, Pretty sure you can't loop a single measure in the app. What's the closest? Nope. That I could do here. What is this? That might be too early. Yeah, that's pretty tough to do. Yeah, so just the way the looping works in the app, it just doesn't work well for, you know, one measure for it's super precise things like that. So unfortunately, you can't do that in app. You just have to do that on your own. So pretty tough one there because of those triplets, and then 6 into 16ths. This one here is pretty tricky because of this one bend. If you bend too soon, let's see what happens when I do it here. I'm going to try to play this the way I normally play it, like in real life. Yeah, so both of those didn't work because I added vibrato and I did this bend too soon. So let's see if I can get it clean, not like just playing for the app. So that worked, but it sounded a little stale. So you know, it's a catch-22. It's great for the in-app stuff is great for getting your pitch accuracy, but in real life, I would play it a little bit looser just to get more of a, you know, a feel that it sounds more emotive. So this one, so same thing. It's tough to get these bends perfect. Pretty tricky one there. Those parts. Loop, you know, take this and even break this into chunks. Now, I would probably stop there. And then yeah. Or you could start from pretty tricky. So I'd turn that into a loop. That's where for me anyway, again, you sort of have to find out what works for you. This is a little bit of a long passage. So a whole lot of... So that happens 3 times in a row. So, again, breaking it down. And then it's just a loop till the end. Couple licks. Yeah, right. So... So take that as a loop. This is what I would do. And I think that's the last lick. Let's take a look here. Oh no, wow, that's pretty easy. That's probably the easiest lick in the whole thing. Just a few notes at the end, so that's that one. I think somebody asked for, I don't know, Waltzing Matilda, something else. Let me scroll up. Waltzing Matilda, where are you? I can't find it. Anyway, yeah, missed it. But anyway, I think I don't want to beat this one to death. Do like every 3 billion different versions of the same song. So I think that will be it for that one because, like I said, you can only play one song so many times in so many different ways. So what's interesting is that they didn't put Sitting on a Park Bench, like the full version, on there. So that's another song that people have difficulty with in the sense of the rhythm part. That's a tricky one. But I think I'm pretty close to wrapping it up. I don't think there's really anything else to cover, short of repeating same songs, which I kind of don't want to do. And if you guys don't have any requests, I think I'll wrap it up. I have to head out to do some work out in the sun today, so that's going to be fun. And it has been not been nice weather here for the longest time, so I'm going to go out and enjoy that. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks a lot, guys, and I will see you next week. I'll have my usual video on Wednesdays, so look out for that. I'm hoping to get another kind of cover done this week. It's going to be something a little bit different, not really a guitar cover. So it's going to be, it wasn't written for guitar. There is guitar in it, but it's just going to be a little bit different. You'll see. I'd like to get that going by hopefully Friday. So I'll be doing that. Once again, if you haven't joined the Yousician Facebook group, there's a link in the description. Join up for that, as well as like my Facebook page on Alexis Yousician on Facebook. Subscribe if you haven't done so, and also check out my channel, Alexis Nery channel. My website, alexisnery.com. If you sign up for the newsletter, you can get a free ebook, as well as get email notifications for streams and videos and whatnot, those kinds of things. If you like my videos, there is a link to a donation on the in the description on my videos, so that would be great. I believe I have that also on the description on my channel, my YouTube channel as well. Anyway, so thanks a lot for watching, guys, and yeah, we will see you next week for another stream. Thanks a lot, guys.